Live Tuesday, April 18th from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. This is Fantasy Dominance Now. Come dominate fantasy sports with us, and bringing you all the tools to dominate is Soap Stash, the new soap standard. Like them on Facebook, Soap Stash LLC. Find them online, soapstash.com. And for ordering information, call 844-890-3197. They're having a spring special right now. We'll get into the details later on in the show. But from the best soap in the business, we are the best fantasy minds in the business. Yay. That's right, baby. Happy United Airlines ticket giveaway, everybody.
Ah, that's cold, bro.
Thank you ever so much for joining us. We got Trenton Thunder's biggest fan, Mikey Klonkoff.
Yeah, more about the Altoona curve.
We got Cup Crazy, Brian Daly.
What's up?
And we got the master statistician, Doug Pitchford.
Yes.
And I'm Rob Pobia. Matt Tsutsuti's bringing you all the fantasy dominance from the producer's chair. So what's up, gentlemen? What's going on this afternoon?
With that United giveaway, does that come with a free tasing?
It does.
Free beatdown.
I wonder if it also comes with a diaper.
The funniest meme I saw was a version of the video with the guy that, I guess you live on Iraq and hear about this story. A guy who refused to give up his seat and got dragged off the airplane. Someone put a crying Jordan face on him being pulled away. It's hysterical.
Well, no. He got tased. He got tased and dragged away.
Is that what it was?
He got tased. Yeah. No, if you see the video, if you watch the video, which I have many, many, many times, if you actually see the police officer that comes in there, he actually has a taser in his left hand because he has a black object in his left hand. And you hear the dude squeal like a pig. That's because he's being tased. That is the sound that someone makes when they're being electrocuted.
Right.
If you've never witnessed this before,
I've witnessed it many times.
then you should know the squeal.
Well, most people don't squeal. Most people go,
fall. Some people squeal. Like that guy. Oh, my God.
That's funny as hell.
I mean, I feel bad for the dude. You know what I mean? It is a really fucked up situation. Granted, you know what I mean? United Airlines, United Airlines, I believe they're done. Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
They've already lost billions in revenue and
Billions.
Yeah, everybody's sitting there like, don't go on United. So
yeah, they're done. They're done, though. Good job, United. Killing yourself.
Or it's
one
just
case at a
security
time.
doing their job. You can't really blame United.
Right.
No, you can blame United.
It's not like United has special security. It's United security.
You can blame United.
All right.
They could have. I mean, they're supposed to offer people money and stuff to get up off these planes. Like, I don't understand. You're like a multi-billion-dollar industry. Like, I don't understand how you couldn't just offer more money for someone to get the fuck up. Like, clearly, you're offering someone $500 or $1,000 wasn't worth their inconvenience. Like, my black ass not worth my inconvenience either. Especially like, dude had to work. If I had to work next morning, you're gonna give me like $2,500, couple like $2,500, $3-4 grand. Yeah, I'll call out of work.
I don't think that would ever
That's
happen.
a bet.
Why not? It's worth it's better than the billions of dollars they just lost.
Very true.
The billions.
And billions.
Well, if you out there don't want to get drug off from your fantasy baseball leagues and you want in on the dominance, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search a2dradio.com. If you got fantasy questions, tweet at us with the hashtag AskFDN. I'm at Robbie Blitz. Doug, you are at
StatMagnet85.
Mike, you are at
Mike_Kleinkoff.
And Brian, you are at
Brian_A2D Radio.
No matter where you tweet out, whether it be to the station, to the show at FDNA2D, any of us individually, just hashtag AskFDN. We'll get to your answers live on the show or after the fact, help you dominate in your leagues, help you dominate in DraftKings, help you dominate in Fanduel. Basically, just dominate all over the world.
Yes.
In terms of the show today, we got a great one in store for you all. With the Cavs taking a commanding 2-0 lead on the Pacers, we'll take a look at the entire NBA playoff picture, including how DraftKings and FanDuel players can take advantage of the play. We're also helping you get off to a dominating start in your fantasy baseball leagues by discussing injuries, ad recommendations, two-start pitchers, and streaming pitchers. But first, we'll rip around Major League Baseball and break down where all 30 teams stand at April's midway point. We asked you on Facebook and Twitter, blank are number 2 behind the Cubs in Major League Baseball's power rankings. Gave you a couple options: Los Angeles Dodgers, Houston Astros, Baltimore Orioles, who have been skyrocketing, kind of like why we picked them for the thumbnail, and Manny Machado, not showing the batting average, but certainly the home runs and RBIs. Or, of course, other, because this is going to be a good topic for debate, because there's a lot of people that could slide in, depending on, are you going based on the play this year? Are you going based on what the team's makeup is? And it is only 2 weeks in, so, maybe you don't judge as harshly as if we were in the midway season, but it's a good way to get a handle on what's going on so far in Major League Baseball. So I'll throw it to you, gentlemen. First of all, do you all have Cubs at number 1 in your power rankings?
I don't.
I don't.
No, 2 don't, 3 don't. I'm the only one, huh? I mean, they're 6-6, so I get it.
If you look at their team clearly, I think they probably are the best all-around team in baseball. But what they're showing right now on a 4-game losing streak as well, it was too hard to put them number 1 as of right now. If I'm looking at it week to week.
Pardon me,
Preach.
too. They lost last night, 6-7. So yeah, I get it.
Preach.
Definitely. So we even have discrepancies on who's, number 1 based on that. I mean, I don't know. The Cubs still are the Cubs. I get it that, they're on that losing streak and what have you, but I like how some of the B players on this team are playing, and it shows that and they're going to need depth for as many games as they've played as a unit over the past 2 seasons. They're going to need a Jason Hayward to step up, and he has stepped up starting with a 286 average, 12 for 42. But it is over the 260 that he put up in 2016. So as long as he continues to contribute, Kyle Schwarber continues to contribute, Ben Zobrist, who we spoke about last week, who is off to a pretty hot start, as long as he can stay consistent within the lineup. Yeah. I think his production will be consistent, but how many games will he play? You're going to need some of these other guys to step in. So I still got him at number 1. Who do you guys have as your number 1?
Mine's a surprise. I'm going to start it off. I'm going to New York Yankees.
What?
Yes.
Give me some of that crack.
All right, listen. They are the hottest team in baseball right now. They're on an 8-game winning streak. The offense has been there. I mean, they've been slugging balls out of the park for the past couple weeks now. Pitching's been pretty solid. So, overall, as a team, I mean, they're a pretty hot team right now. Like I said, the 8-game winning streak is more the reason why I have them at number 1 right now.
I could see that. I mean, they're a hot team. You can't knock it. They're also 7-0 at home. I mean, it does help that when you play, when you've played 7 of your first 13 games at home.
Yeah, of course.
That does help.
Of course.
A little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the way the schedule's written out. I don't have number 1. I think I have them 3 in my rankings, but I could see that. I mean, personally, right now, number 1 team. I'm going by just how they're playing right now. I'm not concerned with, the overall rosters. Obviously, it's going to change. I take this with a grain of salt even because, let's be real, it's like the 2nd week of the season, 3rd week of the season. Like, you can't put much stock into this. But I have the Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 1,
Nice.
Number 1 on my power rankings. I said that they were going to be serious, in the preview shows,
yes.
That they were going to be a good team. I'm going to keep drinking that Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah, before you got here, we were singing your praises.
I give you praise, yes.
Now, do you think they stay there, or is this just off to a hot start? That's the real question.
I don't think this is off to a hot start. I mean, this offense has always been there, so that that right there is something that is going to be sustained. The pitching's the question mark, but you know what? They have enough guys in that rotation that do have quality track records and are quality arms. I think this is for real. And Fernando Rodney really did them a justice, solidifying the back end of that bullpen, which has been a problem for the last few years. I believe they actually, over the span of the last 3 years, I believe they lead Major League Baseball in blown saves.
A guy that everyone passes up on in fantasy drafts because, this is the year that he'll get lit up because he has those meltdowns at times during the season. But all the guy does at an accelerated age is have a low ERA, low whip, and put up consistent saves. So anybody that took a flyer on him in fantasy baseball is a benefactor of this.
For the win.
And, of course, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Absolute.
All right, I guess it's my turn. I'm sticking in the same division, but I'm going with a different team. My number 1 is actually the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, I knew someone was gonna do it. Rock on.
They just have a really good lineup. I like their lineup. I always have Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu, and so on. Their starting
Cargo.
rotation is starting to come around. Cargo.
They don't even have Ian Desmond back yet.
Right. He's another one.
Yeah.
That's a scary
Or David
lineup.
Dahl.
Yeah, and their bullpen's been pretty solid all year long. But this is the reason why I put them in the number 1 spot. Their road record is 6-2. So not only are they're playing 500 ball at home, but they're winning on the road, and that's one of the hardest places to win baseball games.
Yeah. Now, does their -7 run differential scare you at all with their current level of play? I mean, they are 9-5. They're playing really good baseball.
I mean, not really. It's still early in the season, so it could really go either way. I mean, I don't see Colorado staying where they are right now. I actually see them falling back. I see the Dodgers coming back into the picture. I could see the Giants coming back into the picture. So Colorado, they're there for now, but they shouldn't get comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to continue this play.
Well, I think losing John Gray for 4 to 6 weeks definitely hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with that broken toe or whatever he has. I believe it's a broken toe. Excuse me.
Yeah, we'll get
so that doesn't help.
Yeah, I got a breakdown for that during the injury portion of the show. Definitely, we'll get into a little Mr. Gray there, no doubt.
Yes, being a great owner, I would know.
That's right.
That sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, like I said, I mean, I do still have the Cubs at number 1, just because I could see where they're going. I mean, not off to the greatest of starts, but I go based on they're to me, they still have the best lineup in baseball. They still have 2 of the better pitchers in the game. It's all going to depend on a guy like John Lackey. Can he be a solid number 3 behind Lester and Arrieta? What are they going to get on the back end of the rotation from guys like Mike Montgomery, who I think is currently still their long man, but who I could see as their 5th starter. He's a guy that's got great swing and miss stuff. So they're certainly deep, and I mean, that infield is just one to drool over. When it comes to number 2, and that's what we're asking the people to vote on, we'll get to the results later on in the show. I'm signing the Houston Astros here. Them too, much like the Cubs, have a dynamite lineup, and they're getting better pitching this year, specifically from the 2015 Cy Young Award winner, Dallas Keuchel, because after 3 starts this year, .61 whip, .86 ERA, absolutely sparkling. That shoulder's healthy.
He looks like Cy Young again.
Yeah, he really does. So, certainly if he can continue with the proper health, you're looking at a great year for the Houston Astros and anyone like myself who took a chance on him in fantasy baseball leagues. Could this be a guy that maybe you sell high on while he's pitching so well?
Yes, that's definitely an option there. I mean, I'm a believer in Dallas Keuchel. That's why I had him. I owned him for like the last 3 years as a starter because he's very good pitcher. But that being said, obviously yes, I would definitely try to sell really high right now, especially with the amount of quality starters that are struggling early on in the season. I would definitely try to make a move to acquire a guy maybe like a Hugh Darvish. Or like Masahiro Tanaka, a guy that has a track record of being an upper echelon pitcher who's just kind of mediocre right now.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, to go with it, Keuchel has a nice start going up against the Angels on Wednesday. So, do you dish him before then or wait till after that game?
I'm always one to post up a trade and make sure that I get the start before it transpires. Squeeze one little last start out of them. I mean, it's definitely something I'm considering in terms of selling high on them, but it's something I got to think long and hard about, because if I can get somewhat of that 2015 season this year as my number 3 behind Syndergaard and Sale, man, that's a great 1-2-3.
That is a really good 1-2-3. I don't know. My only concern is that Houston lineup, though. To your point, it's a great lineup, a lot of talent there, a lot of potential. But, up until the last couple of games, they really haven't been putting up too many runs on the board. So I'm a little – that was one of my concerns. A lot of games scoring, 2 runs or less.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Brian, who you got number 2?
My number 2 is actually the Baltimore Orioles. Now, granted, offensively, they haven't been great all season long, are in the first 2 weeks. I believe they're ranked 19th in runs scored with 53 on the season, 250 batting average for the team on the year. They're not really getting on base, but their pitching has been pretty phenomenal outside of Ubaldo Jimenez. On the season, Ubaldo Jimenez has only gone 8.2 innings pitched, and he's given up 10 earned runs, but everybody else has been – their numbers are down. They're pitching well. Lots of strikeouts for everybody. Former Philly Alec Asher, who was just traded there, I think just before the season started, made his first start, 6.1, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So, they're pitching well. And I think the pitching is really what is holding this team together.
Absolutely. We got Eugene Porterfield asking a good question on YouTube. He goes, is a World Series hangover a thing for the Cubs? Is that what we're seeing right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a World Series hangover. There's no question about that. They're just not, they're not playing with that sense of urgency and that hunger. And you can just plainly see it in this team right now. I'm sure it'll pick back up, especially being like young guys and stuff. Like, it'll definitely pick up as the season goes along. But, right now they're not hungry. You can just tell in the way they play. They're kind of just going through the motions right now.
Right.
Well, piggybacking off that question, were they just a flash in the pan last year, or are they the real deal?
No, I think they're definitely the real deal. I mean, you could say, well, they're, guys, stars like Chris Bryant, Javier Baez certainly don't put up the secondary stats to make you fully confident, high strikeout rate. But Bryant's still top 5 player in the league. You got Addison Russell. It's just a loaded lineup. And then the pitching's great. The one thing that I think, last year, obviously, they had a better bullpen than they have this year, I think, in my opinion. I mean, no disrespect to Wade Davis, but he's not Aroldis Chapman.
Nope.
No.
So I think you might be seeing a little bit of that bullpen woes coming in to play here that you didn't have last year. So thus, no, I don't think they were a flash in the pan.
I mean, having Dexter Fowler, I feel like is hurting this lineup too.
Great point.
That
with
was
the
a
St.
huge
Louis
loss.
Cardinals, yeah.
Yeah, that was your leadoff hitter and your center fielder and your everyday center fielder. I mean, I don't know though. I could see them being potentially a flash in the pan, so to speak. I mean, you forget this is a very young team. Like, we still don't – none of these kids are really proven outside of, like, Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo that they're actually, like, true everyday major league players.
Right.
I mean, Javier Baez has been in and out of the lineup because he's not consistent. He strikes out too much. He doesn't make enough contact. Addison Russell even, I mean, for as talented as he is, I mean, I don't recall a season where he's hit over 260.
Right.
And he's been in the majors 3 years. So these are kids that are still learning how to play the game. And you know what? They could still go up or down, depending. I mean, these are still developing young players. So.
Oh, no doubt.
No, I mean, I see this Cubs team going up. I think it's, like you guys said, it's a little bit of a hangover, but they're going to come around. They're a young team.
I don't know. I mean, they can come around. I can easily see them kind of having a regression year because they are a young team. And you know what? A hangover, World Series hangover could just be that, a true hangover, and they just win like 80 games, kind of meandering through the season, and then come back next year and win like 110. Because like they realized that they kind of wasted an opportunity.
Yeah, no, I get it. Makes sense.
Young players.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. So, who do you have as second on the on your power rankings, Mikey?
Me, I mean, I'm with with you, Rob. The Houston Astros, 9-5 or 9-4 right now. They're on a 5-game winning streak. The second hottest team in the league right now, streak wise. But I mean, there's not much more you have to say. Their lineup is just, I don't know what you do as a pitcher with that lineup. You can't pitch around anybody because the next batter is just as good as the person in front of him. So
right.
Yeah, they're one of those teams where the lineup is from top to bottom. It's just completely solid,
it's
just
consistent.
as dangerous.
Yeah.
Doug, you got number 2.
The Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
The one team no one talks about.
This could be the discrepancy. I mean, I got the Red Sox all the way down at 6, and I, you know what? I mean, they could be as high as 2. They really can be because you got it based on, with my same line of thinking with the Cubs. They've gotten off to a better start than the Cubs, and they have just as good of a team, if not better. So, your point's valid, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I actually had the Red Sox at number 3. I like their bullpen. I like Craig Kimbrell as their closer. Their lineup is they have a dangerous lineup. Once David Price comes back, they have one of the best rotations in all of baseball.
Right. Do me a solid, Brian. Run through all the way to 30 real quick. Rattle off your teams. And then, we'll all do that and then kind of round it out with an open discussion about, why do you have that team there and so on and so forth.
All right, well, then at number 4, I have the Tigers. Number 5, the Yankees. Number 6, this is where I have the Astros. Reds, I have at number 7. Nationals, number 8. Diamondbacks, number 9. Mets, number 10. Twins at 11. Brewers at 12. Marlins at 13. Cubs at 14. Dodgers at 15. Rays at 16. Royals at 17. Angels at 18. Pirates at 19. White Sox at 20. Indians at 21. Braves at 22. Mariners at 23. Giants at 24. Padres at 25, Athletics at 26, Rangers at 27, Phillies at 28, Cardinals at 29, and the worst team in baseball is the Blue Jays at number 30.
Wow, the Blue Jays,
That's
man. Did
bad.
we call that on the show or what?
I did not.
Yeah,
We
I actually
matched it
picked them
up.
to be a wild card.
yeah, that's true. But
So did I. I picked them as one of my teams too.
I think we expressed concerns though, and I mean this side of the panel was definitely down on the Blue Jays. So, and I love the fair call with the Phillies like that. I think I might even have them a little higher than that. Like as a Phillies fan, that just shows how neutral down the middle you are as a broadcaster, Brian. Kudos to you. But why so high on the Reds?
They're just playing good ball. Like they're getting guys on base, and when they're on base, they're active. They're stealing bases. They're stealing backs. They're scoring runs. They're getting good pitching from everybody. This team I projected this team to be one of the worst teams in baseball, and it's like almost the exact opposite. They're getting good pitching from a bunch of guys that I personally have never heard of, outside of Brian Finnegan. Guys are getting – all these young guys are getting on base. Billy Hamilton's making great plays in the outfield. Joey Votto is basically being the leader that they expect him to be in Cincinnati. And they're winning ball games now.
Which is awesome. It's great to see. It really is. It's good to see young teams playing well out the gate. I hope they keep it up because it's always better for baseball when there's like teams like this.
Well, I hope not.
It adds to the parity of the game.
I don't want them to do good.
I want them to do good because I hate the Pirates. Love you, Mike.
That's fine.
Pirates are 6-7. I mean, they're better than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The other disappointing team this year, and we pointed the finger on that. Mikey, what's your list?
All right, here we go. I'm going to start it from top to bottom again. I have the Yankees number 1, Astros 2, Diamondbacks 3, Rockies 4, Orioles 5, Tigers 6, Red Sox 7, Nationals 8, Marlins 9, Cubs at 10, Mets 11, Dodgers at 12, Milwaukee at 13. I have the Twins at 14, Cincinnati at 15. Seattle at 16, Pirates 17, Rays 18, Royals at 19, Cleveland at 20, White Sox 21, San Francisco at 22, Angels 23, Texas 24, Oakland at 25, Padres 26, Braves at 27, Phillies 28, Cardinals 29, and the Blue Jays at 30.
Again.
Yes.
Pulling up last. I could tell you're purely basing it on this because no way could the Twins be in the upper tier.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that's a little high because I don't perceive the Twins maintaining this level of success all year round.
No, but I mean they have a good young, offense and they're doing the job right now at 7-6. They're on a 2-game skid right now, but I mean they're still, above 500.
Yeah.
Which is something that we probably saw them to be below, a lot below 500, to start the season. So these are all strictly right now, week to week. I mean, every week this is going to change drastically. So it's still early.
I'm with you. That's how I did mine.
No, truth.
At this point last year, you're looking at the Minnesota Twins. They're, 2 wins on the year? They started off the season last year 0-9. So, I mean, this is a big turnaround from this team, and I think this Twins team could be a very competitive team very shortly.
Yeah, well, they will fall off this meteoric rise. There's no doubt
absolutely.
about it. But they won't be competing with the Braves for worst team in baseball either. I could see them maybe cracking the top 20 or at least the top 25, moving up that bottom third of the power rankings based on moves they make and based on an unheralded closer that doesn't have the swing and miss stuff, pitches ground balls, and gets out of innings, something that really you don't see isn't the trend. It's always about the flamethrowers. Aroldis Chapman throwing 103, and I'm talking about, Brandon, not Finnegan, freaking, what's his name? I'm spacing on his name right now.
Matt Strom?
No. For the Minnesota Twins. I'll get it up here in a second. I should have got while I was talking about it, I should have looked it up. Kinsler. Brandon Kinsler. Certainly he's been a good fantasy closer. He has helped the Minnesota Twins off to this hot start.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I don't know. I mean, my biggest surprise. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are down on him, but Texas at 5-8 right now, and I have them ranked 24th. It's just, they're one of the highest scoring teams, but yet they've allowed
They are the highest scoring team.
They've scored the most runs, but yet they're 5-8.
Yeah.
They have a losing record.
Right.
Well,
So
pitching is everything, brother, man.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. You got Cole Hamels and Darvish has 1 and 2. I mean, after that, I don't even think Hamels has a win this season yet. They're not closing games.
No. Well, I mean, they also have what is it? Sam Dyson has 3
Sam
blown
Dyson
saves.
has 3 losses. He's allowed 13 runs in 14 innings pitched.
Yeah, Sam Dyson has just completely shit the bed this year.
Yeah, he's the worst closer in the game. Absolute worst closer in the game.
No doubt. Douglas, you want to rattle off your list before we hit the break?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
What the hey?
Yeah, what the hey? All right, so obviously at number 1 I had the Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 2 I had the Boston Red Sox, as we've gone through. Real quick, at 3 I had the O's, Baltimore Orioles. At 4 I had the Houston Astros. 5 I had the New York Yankees, which you had number 1. 6 I had the Colorado Rockies. 7 Detroit Tigers. 8 Washington Nationals. 9 my own New York Mets. At 10 I had the LA Dodgers. I still am a believer. You know what I mean? Anything that has Clayton Kershaw, you have to be in the top 10.
Sure.
11 I had the Reds. 12 Marlins. 13 Twins. 14 Brewers. 15 Cards. 16 Pirates, 17 Royals, 18 Rays, 19 Indians, 20 Giants, 21 White Sox, 22 Mariners, Padres, Phillies, A's, Braves, and Blue Jays because they suck.
They suck this year, and it's really all on Jose Bautista. I've never seen this slow of a start in quite some time, and he's not the only one. It's contagious in that locker room, almost like the flu bug that's going around a lot of teams in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Boston.
Yep.
Ramirez and Mookie.
Absolutely. I'll go quickly through mine. Got Cubs 1, Astros 2, Dodgers 3, Baltimore Orioles 4. I really think they make the largest jump. Based on my preseason rankings, I have them moving up 8 spots based on the start. And when you have Chris Davis and unheard of Trey Mancini hitting 7 home runs, out homering the Red Sox 5 by themselves, obviously that's what this team's going to be all about. Home runs, putting up runs, and so far so good for the Orioles. Number 5, I got the Nats. Number 6, I got the Red Sox. 7, Indians. 8, the New York Metropolitans. Number 9, the Colorado Rockies. They take a big jump, 9 spots. Antonio Senzatela, really just enjoying the joyride that's the Colorado Rockies. Detroit at number 10. New York Yankees at 11. Marlins at 12. I think they've had a pretty good start of the season, mostly beating up on our New York Mets, Douglas.
Yes, they have, those bastards.
I got the Diamondbacks at 13, and they can be higher like you were indicating. Just the discrepancy. You have them 1 out of 13, but they move up 11 spots in my list based on their activity, but I think they will fall back down to earth, and Paul Goldschmidt hasn't been a reason why they've been winning. He's been hitting air more than the ball lately. He's going to have to step it up if they're going to keep their standings. I got the Giants at number 14, the Twinkies at 15. I got the Rangers at 16, Royals at 17. Mikey, I got your Pirates at 18. 19, I got the Rays. 20, I got the Reds, who still have had a great start to their season, up 8 spots from the original list. 21, I got the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. 22, the Milwaukee Brewers. 23, the disappointing St. Louis Cardinals. Sorry, sweeps. Number 24, I got the Chi Sox. I got the Blue Jays still at 25. They obviously are down a lot, but I still think that these guys aren't going to struggle forever. They will move back, but you can't win a championship in April, but you can certainly lose it, and they're losing their shot at this division as we speak, off to a hard start. And they'll need Josh Donaldson back from the DL. Seattle Mariners, I got at 26. The Philadelphia Phillies at 27. Oakland A's at 28. Bravos at 29 in their new SunTrust Park, which is beautiful, by the way, but fuck the Braves. And number 30, I got the San Diego Padres. So, we'll get to this in a little bit more on the other side, but I do want to let the people know about Soap Stash, the new soap standard. People, if you haven't taken advantage yet, this is the final week of their spring super sale. Get select soaps at $2 a bar. You can get 3 bars of soap for $5. You got to inbox them on Facebook. You search Soap Stash LLC. If you want to take a look at their selections, you can go to soapstash.com, or for ordering information, you can give them a call at 844-890-3197. All natural products, just great for your skin, great for men, women, and obviously children. Go contact Soap Stash today. On the other side, we'll get into some Major League Baseball injuries as we start to reel this conversation into a fantasy perspective. You are listening to Fantasy Dominance Now here on A2Dradio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2Dradio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard. A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
And welcome back to the party that is Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com. If you want in on the dominance, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search A2DRadio.com. If you got specific questions, we got specific answers to help you dominate in all things fantasy sports. Not just baseball that's prominent right now. We'll help you win some money in, Fanduel and DraftKings leagues for the NBA playoffs, which we'll get into a little more in detail later on in the show. Definitely tweet at us. We're here for you. We are Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Doug Pitchford, and yours truly, Rob Povia, Matt Sudi on the ones and twos. And we were talking about before we hit the break, the power rankings. Certainly we discussed a lot of the top tier. Are there any other teams you want to kind of highlight that have been just above your expectations, below your expectations? Anything of the sorts? This is being brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, where you can always have high expectations for your game with the expert tutelage dropped by John Scanzano. You can look him up online, scanzanosports.com, or give him a call, 856-889-3434.
I would definitely say the Angels are, performing like a little bit under my expectations right now. I thought they'd be a little bit better out the chute.
Well, yeah, they started 6-2.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought they were going to keep that type of a pace up for a little bit longer. Yeah. Obviously the Pirates are a little disappointing. I thought they'd be a little bit better. The Brewers, Reds, those kind of go without saying that they're huge surprises this year.
Yeah, I would think maybe my top two surprises is maybe the Marlins sticking at 7-6 right now. I have them ranked 9th. And the Colorado Rockies at 9-5. I think they're the biggest surprise for me, considering their pitching. I wasn't too, keen on their pitching, so I was kind of surprised about that.
Yeah, but you know what? They did the right thing with their pitching staff. They went and developed it more towards their ballpark and what their ballpark brings. They got guys that keep the ball down, but they got a lot of guys that don't throw a lot of breaking stuff. They got a lot of guys that throw the ball, that throw hard, mid to upper 90s, and sinkers. They're fastball sinker pitchers. Fastball, sinker, changeup. That's what you need in Colorado. You need guys that are going to be able to keep the ball on the ground, have guys, if they put the ball in play, it's on the ground. More importantly, they got guys that strike guys out. That's what you need in Colorado. You have to be able to punch out 8 guys in a start. You have to.
Right. You have a high contact rate, and several of those are going to creep out of that stadium. And it's interesting, too, is that now the Diamondbacks are implementing the humidor as well. In their stadium, a lower altitude, but certainly the balls fly out of their stadium like nobody's business.
No humidity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all that dry air.
Yeah, bro. Everything travels in dry heat, bro.
Absolutely. I want to go through a couple things that I've noticed, through 2 weeks of more predominantly for last week. Mariners pitcher. The Mariners overall have been subpar based on all the moves that they've made, but one guy that has not been subpar has been James Paxton. Just last week alone, won 2 games, gave up 0 runs in both starts, 17 Ks. Gets AL Player of the Week.
Hell yeah, deserves it.
Absolutely deserves
100%.
it.
He's a guy I owned in fantasy last year. Certainly look towards him again this year. Big Mikey Smalls from AM and the PM swooped him up. Didn't help him out in our matchup this week. I just tore it up, man. Almost 600 points.
Yeah.
Maybe looking at back-to-back champ over here. Maybe.
Stop it.
I'll get off to a hot. I'm still on the undefeated streak, right? It'll break, and then I won't be able to win a game. That's
yeah. Would you go like 23-4 last season or something like that? Stop it.
He had a good year last year. He really did.
Yeah. On the National League side, Marlins outfield Marcell Ozuna, who was ranked 3rd in that outfield on agree to disagree, but playing like number one in that outfield. No disrespect to Mr. Yelich and Stanton, who have been batting pretty well, maybe a lower batting average than you'd expect from Mr. Yelich. But Marcell Ozuna, all he did last week was hit 4 homers, including a grand slam, 12 RBIs. He's a phenomenal week and gets NL Player of the Week. Your guy, who I maybe should have drafted number one, and now I'm thinking otherwise about Jose Peraza. But Eric Thames, man, Brewers first baseman and former Korean star, is proving his power translates with an MLB best 7th home run hit last night, and he's had at least one in 5 straight, 6 and 5.
I love it. I love it.
You deserve. Hey, bro, you should have. Yeah, that's what you get for stealing my number 1 pick, you bastard.
Yeah, I drafted him in our league, and that's been great for me thus far.
Oh, in the Dynasty League we're in, he has the number 1 pick. He told for weeks, it's Eric Thames. I'm taking Eric Thames. Don't bother with Eric Thames. All right, cool. I'm taking Jose Peraza then because he didn't notice he's there. Then he steals Jose Peraza at the last minute. Now Eric Thames is destroying.
I know, right? That's what I get, I guess. But, I mean, I didn't even look for him because I thought he had to have been owned from last year. I forgot that you dropped him.
Yeah, I traded him last year.
Oh, you traded him. My bad.
Yeah, so whoever I traded him to dropped him. Good job, guy.
Yeah, right? I'll appreciate it because in the end, I think I did still make the smart decision. But, I was pretty confident that Eric Thames' power would translate. He found something in himself in the Korean League. And the Korean League is pretty synonymous in play to Major League Baseball, but it's still not Major League Baseball. So I'm like, I can't. There's still a little bit of a question mark there. Well, he's proven the doubters wrong so far this year.
Yeah, it's a big-time year from him. I love the fact that Jose Ramirez is duplicating what he did last year. He literally just picked it right back up. Killing it right now, too, in Cleveland.
Right.
Granted, a bad Cleveland team right now, but he's just playing like a superstar. Love this kid.
No doubt about it. Getting to the Facebook, we got a couple people chiming in. Everybody's going with Houston Astros is number 2 behind the Cubs. I mean, I know the Dodgers have gotten off to a slow start, but I mean, they were still picked to be number 2 in the National League, let alone Major League Baseball, behind the Cubbies this year. And the Orioles, I mean, has there been anybody hotter in the American League? I agree with them. It is the Houston Astros, but these other teams, certainly the Dodgers with the Giants scuffling, I think still has a shot at winning that division. I mean, still has a shot. We're only 2 weeks in, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we're way too early to be worrying about that type of stuff. We'll revisit this at the end of May. That's when it really matters.
Well, that's what I figured. I figured, agree to disagree, did the initial power rankings and, producing that show. We all gave, who we had going into the season. So I figured let's use our platform 2 weeks in. Let's see where those teams have changed since then. Every so often we can come back to this. I usually think like unlike the NFL where it's a week-to-week league, I say every month is a good time to check in with Major League Baseball. 'Cause, 162 games, elongate it a little bit.
I'm going back to our text messages about you bringing up Eric Thames to me, actually, Rob, and you actually said, you know what, I think I'll take Thames. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's probably where I would lean. I told him I love home run hitters. So if you're telling me that, you're tossing up between one guy and a home run hitter, I'm going home run hitter. So I also did tell Rob to go with him as well.
I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you. Too bad it didn't work out.
No.
Because I really needed Jose Peraza at my second baseman. My backup second baseman.
Your backup.
I got Daniel Murphy in this league.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you're good there.
In this Dynasty League, my team is very set.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. But, I mean, just whipping around Major League Baseball, we'll stick with those Brewers or whatnot that are sitting at 8-6 behind the Cincinnati Reds at 8-5. Kind of almost a reversal of what we expected the standings to be. Can either of these teams stay in the hunt when we get into the warmer months of summer?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Because the Cubs are going to finally take over. If there's any team, I'm going with the Brewers. I will go with the Brewers. If it's any of those two teams that would be considered a second wild card, I would go to Brewers.
I'm going the Reds.
I'm with Doug. I would say the Reds.
That's fine. Hey,
like-
listen, this is what we're here for.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking Brewers.
To agree-
We're
to-
split down the middle.
To agree to disagree. This is the show, bro. But, like, you know what I mean? It's the state. But, like, I feel, you know what I mean, based on what I've seen out of watching, like, 4 Reds games so far this year and watching one of Amir Garrett's starts, I mean, this kid's a superstar.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. Like, looking at him, I see a kid that's better than David Price right now. Like, I really like what I see out of this kid. He's going to be like the next great pitcher in the game. You know, pair that with Anthony Descalfiandi.
Who's out on the DL, and he should be coming back.
Yeah, once he returns. You also have Homer Bailey, who's also on the DL. You know what I mean? If he ever gets back this season. I mean, that's 3 guys that are pretty good. You still have Robert Stevenson, another really highly touted prospect. You know, they got a lot of quality young arms. You know what I mean? They're the team if anybody is going to stay in contention. I just don't see the Cubs coming back right now. I see a team that's just going to meander till like July, and then they'll realize that, oh, we got to pick it up, and they'll pick it up just to make a run, and they'll fall short.
Wow.
Because that's what young teams do. That get
I still think the Cubs are going to win this division. I mean, they're only 2 games technically behind.
Right. I mean, they're going to be right around there.
I think you're crazy to say that the Reds will actually finish on top.
I don't know. I didn't say they're going to win. I just said that
you said the Cubs.
I just said the Cubs won't win this division.
Oh, well, they will. So.
No, I don't see them. I don't think they're going to win this division. Like I said, I think they're just going to meander around most of the season.
Well, one thing that's affecting all these standings, you know, certainly, you know, you look in the American League, you know, the Central, you got Detroit, you know, out to a good start, 8-4, you know, 7-3 in their last 10, you know, taking control of that division, whereas teams like Kansas City and Cleveland are sitting towards the bottom of the barrel. A lot of times injuries play a part, especially early on, and can really give you a false impression of what a team's going to be as we move along in the season. And there have been quite a notable injuries moving on to that in the show, and this is being brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant. You have today. Today is the day. So if you haven't filed that extension or your taxes, you better call Gibson Mayer, stat 215-369-3300. Get your taxes in, get, you know, at least the biggest return you can get or less off the money that you owe. We talked about him a little bit earlier. We'll revisit. John Gray hits the DL this week for the Colorado Rockies with the toe, as you were wondering about, Doug. It's estimated it'll be out 4 to 6 weeks, according to manager Bud Black, which the original timetable for Gray was missing at least a month. You know, so not really much has changed, but it may be a month and a half before we see the young ace come back into the fray. Do you think that they will extend him, make sure that he's right, or do you try to get him back as soon as possible, Doug?
No, you have to extend him. You go at least a full 6 weeks. You know what I mean? You don't want to mess with a guy who's going to be your potential ace moving forward.
It's a stress fracture too in that toe. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to mess, especially, you know, I believe it's his left foot, so I believe it's his plant foot. You don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, I don't think I believe so. I just a left foot indeed. Yeah, so you definitely don't want to mess with that, and especially since they've gotten off to a hot start and they've gotten good pitching from Tyler Chatwood, who just pitched a complete game shutout. Like I said, you know, just a lot of guys like Antonio coming out of nowhere pitching dynamite. And Tyler Anderson, I mean, he's been up and down. He had a great first start of the season, has kind of scuffled since then. He's a young talent. He's a lot, you know, who a lot of people picked as a sleeper this year in fantasy baseball. So, you know, really them focusing on that rotation, having guys that can keep the ball on the ground, you know, makes for a more complete rotation and allows them to be a little more patient with the best pitcher in that group, John Gray.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And again, like, they still have tons of prospects in that organization. I mean, you still have a guy named Jeff Hoffman. I don't know if you remember his dad, Trevor Hoffman, by chance.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, they still got some top-tier talent, you know, within that organization to bring up and see what they got at the major league level.
Right.
So I'm not concerned. Plus, I think they're going to keep up this level of play right now. I mean, this offense is just clicking on all cylinders right now. And they're waiting on other guys to come back. Speaking of their other pieces to come back, Ian Desmond as you remember, broke his hand in spring training, getting hit by a pitch. He is on the mend. He's actually his left hand. He's been took grounders. Yeah, I took a few ground balls on Friday. Is actually beginning a swinging program tomorrow, where he's going to start swinging in the cage. And I believe he was taking ground balls at first base yesterday as well. So yeah, he's on his way back. Should be back in the lineup before the end of April even. So probably sometime next week.
Yeah, I know it is close. It is close, and then they'll have a bit of a clusterfuck there with Mark Reynolds playing so well too. How do you keep his bat in the lineup? Because I don't think you can really take out that 600+ slugging percentage out of your lineup.
Absolutely, you can replace it with another guy who should be slugging about 600-700. So it sounds like a win-win to me.
It's good depth.
Oh, it's phenomenal depth. I mean, worst comes to worst, Ian Desmond's proven he can play in the outfield. You throw him in the left field and put Parra on the bench.
Right, absolutely. Another guy I want to focus on, Zach Britton. He hit the DL this week. He's converted 54 straight saves, including all 5 of his save opportunities to date this season. But for the time being, the Orioles are going to look for another arm to close out games, as with Britton having the forearm issue, he's not currently scheduled to undergo an MRI, which is good news. But the closer will travel with the team for the upcoming series to Cincinnati, as he was placed on the disabled list Sunday due to a strain in that pitching forearm. It's a positive sign that the MRI wasn't warranted, but I always worry about forearm issues as a precursor to Tommy John. And, a guy that's pitched a lot of innings except one key inning last year in the playoffs.
Yeah. What the hell?
The one inning he should have been throwing, you mean?
Right.
Ugh.
I mean, the good news is that the forearm strain is closer to the wrist than the elbow. So that'll be in his favor. But Britton will be unavailable until at least April 26th, meaning that Bratch, or Darren O'Day will fill in at closer for the time being. So those can be guys that maybe you could pick up for the time being, a cheap source of saves until Britton, if and when he comes back.
Wait, the strain is closer to the wrist?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a professional athlete. Why are you beating it? Just saying. I mean, don't you have enough money to pay someone to do that?
Right.
Just saying.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, man. It's just like guys that get arrested for a DUI. You got enough money to pay somebody to drive you. Come on now.
Yeah. It again makes no sense to me. None of it at all.
You know what it is? Nobody takes care of yourself like yourself.
Oh, truer words have never been spoken. And unfortunately, these words are true. Miguel Cabrera exited Sunday's game with lower back tightness. He's being considered day-to-day. Definitely a guy to look at for today's lineup. You make sure that he's going to be in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
JD Martinez has been on the disabled list with a Liz Frank ligament sprain in his right foot. He's traveling with the team this week. Should be taking part in batting practice sometime this week, which is good. Still hasn't been cleared yet to start outfield drills, and it has been cleared to start running drills. Hasn't been cleared yet to start on-field baseball activities. So, definitely a guy to keep an eye on. He should be back hopefully sometime in the next few weeks.
Nice. I'll move on to a guy here, Aaron Sanchez, another guy that just hit the DL, which is not good news. We didn't bring that up when we were talking about the Blue Jays' putrid start to the season. I mean, even Aaron Sanchez sitting at a 4.38 ERA, a 1.22 WHIP, and only 9 strikeouts in how many innings he's pitched? 12.1.
No bueno.
That's under the 1 per inning that he averaged last year. Sanchez is out with a blister. That seems to be a common problem this year. Again, like we saw last year. I mean, particularly with one pitcher for the LA Dodgers.
Yep.
But it's Sanchez will see a hand specialist this week. He landed on the DL on Sunday due to the blister issue. It's on his middle finger of his pitching hand. So he'll head to Kansas City to see a specialist to determine a concrete course of action for his recovery. Sanchez may need to have part of his fingernail removed to alleviate the issue, much like Syndergaard. He was taken out of his recent start, and you thought it was the blister again, but it was actually his fingernail coming off. So he's going to have to go with an acrylic for the next start.
Nice.
Which isn't too manly, but whatever can get you back on that mound for fantasy baseball players in the Mets.
Maybe he'll paint it too.
With a little hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of pitchers, did we bring up Sam Dyson and his injury?
No, we
No,
did
but
not.
he's on a 10-day DL with a hand contusion. Do you think it's just that? Do you think he actually has a hand contusion, or do you think he has a 27 ERA?
He actually has a hand contusion. If you actually if you watch his last blown save, that was nice, by the way. But if you watch his last blown save, he actually tried to barehand a ball. That was like a hot shot back at him.
He's got an ego contusion.
Yes, he does have an ego contusion.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, damn, man, my man's got a 27 ERA and he's going on a DL now. I was like, yeah, you know what? I think he wants to be on a DL. He's like, I need a little break. Everybody hates me right now out here in Texas.
Well, he hates himself. I mean, I give him props. He even called himself out for being hot garbage. So any dude that can do that, I got some respect.
Well, if you're letting up 13 runs in 14 innings, I mean, there's a problem.
Yeah, and he recognizes that clearly.
Yeah. Another injury, one of my boys, Gregory Polanco, suffered a groin injury a couple games back, but he did show up last night in the game against the Cardinals. So, I mean, he did hit an RBI double, which, cut the lead down to 1 last night in the 9th inning. But watch out for him. I was watching the game, like I said, and he was running gingerly. So just pay attention to him. I think he probably won't be in the starting lineup for maybe a couple more days, but just, look out for him.
Got it, man.
Yeah, real quick, too. Trey Turner, Nat shortstop, was seen running sprints. He was fielding grounders and taking part in batting practice on Sunday. So he's just inching that much closer to his return. They're talking about him potentially being activated from the disabled list and starting tomorrow.
Ooh.
So in weekly leagues,
Doug is happy.
You're already shit out of luck. But for me and
Doug is
everybody
happy.
in daily leagues, damn right.
Right. For owners in deeper leagues, Marcus Semien, man, it was bad news for him. What was originally diagnosed as a bone contusion winds up requiring surgery on his right wrist after a CT scan revealed a fracture of the scaphoid bone, according to Jane Lee of MLB.com. He, currently no timetable for the recovery, but he won't even be reevaluated for 6 weeks. So I think he's a guy that you can cut bait with now.
Sadly.
If you were
pretty solid player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just blew his load a little too early.
So many wrist injuries. Mud on. An update on Matt Kemp actually having a good turnaround in his recovery from a hamstring injury. He was able to take part in fielding, hitting, and running drills on Monday and reported no issues during the activities, further validating the Braves' optimism that he'll be able to come off the disabled list when first eligible tomorrow. So, he can get back on that torrid pace that he started the season with.
And real quick, too, another guy, just to give you a quick update on Buster Posey, obviously on the 7-day concussion disabled list. He did hit off a tee and took swings in the cage on Friday. So it's starting to bode a little bit better towards his recovery. But again, I mean, concussions are tricky, man. You have no idea how long it's going to take and whatnot. I mean, definitely a part of their putrid start. But Buster Posey hopefully should be back sometime in the next 2 weeks.
Man, the Giants will need him. We'll need his services. Any last injuries before we pay some bills, boys? Going once?
No.
Going twice?
These nuts.
Sold! Speaking of sold, the BMW of Atlantic City dealership is having sold signs on their automobiles at lightning pace because they challenge its sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, lease a certified pre-owned elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. BMW of Atlantic City, easy to get to. Minutes off exit 37 on the Garden State Parkway. Check them out online, bmwatlanticcity.com. On the other side, we're going to give you some ad recommendations to replace some of these ailing superstars in Major League Baseball. We'll give some 2-start pitchers that remain in this week, as well as streaming pitchers that you can help win and get off to a lightning start in your fantasy baseball leagues. This is Fantasy Dominance Now, only on a2dradio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk a2dradio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard. A2dradio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on a2dradio.com.
And welcome back to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com. And if you went in on the dominance, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search A2DRadio.com. If you got fantasy questions, tweet at us with the hashtag AskFDN.
Now
Brian,
can I woo?
Woo! Woo! That's right. I saw it coming towards the end, and then you bring it back on the other side. I love it. Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Ric Flair, a.k.a. Doug Pitchford.
Woo!
And Matt Tensuli on the ones and twos. I'm Rob Povia, steering the ship that is being brought to you by the Sports Outlet. For all your sporting needs, go visit them, 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call, 856-939-2030. Or look them up online, sportsoutletinc.com. They have a plethora of sports equipment as baseball season for Little League on up is in full swing. Get your kids prepared. Sports Outlet.
Absolutely.
So we'll get into some ad recommendations that'll help you dominate in your fantasy baseball leagues. A guy I got to start off with, and this is going to make one Mikey Kleinkoff happy. If you're hurting in the catching position, go grab Francisco Cervelli, man. I mean, 233 average, not lighting it up, but 2 homers, 6 RBIs, an on-base percentage of .313. You could do far worse than Cervelli. And just to give you an idea, in his last 7 days, he has put up in our league, gentlemen, a total of 15 points. So, I mean, that's solid production. He's currently owned in only 17% of leagues. I can expect that to go up, especially as catchers start getting some woes or just having a, if you have the roster depth, having a backup catcher isn't necessarily a bad idea. It's not a strategy I implore because I feel like you're kind of wasting a roster spot. But if you have a guy that you can always reliably sub in to make up for when your main starter is sitting, I mean, Cervelli's your man.
Yeah, and he's going to be that primary catcher, too. I mean, every once in a while you get the backup in and Chris Stewart, but, I mean, he's going to play 150 games if he stays healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for out of your catcher. You want a guy who's going to play 140, 150, because you can't ask for 160 because that just doesn't happen anymore.
And believe it or not, gentlemen, as a right-handed batter this year, he's doing far better against righties than lefties. So he has a 267 average with both of his home runs coming against right-handed pitching. Left-handed only hitting 154. So, I mean, certainly if you're juggling your lineup, maybe that's something to pay attention to.
Yeah, I don't like that, but, I mean, that is something to pay attention to.
Small sample size, of course.
Oh, of course.
And definitely, rocking it out in Pittsburgh. Let's see here. I don't want to hog it up. You guys got any ad recommendations?
I got a lot today. I got Avisail Garcia for the Chicago White Sox, right field,
yes, sir.
And DH eligible, owning 41% of leagues. Batting .447 so far this year. He's got 8 runs, 2 home runs, and the 10 RBIs. So it's one of my boys that I would say go out and pick up and solid.
Yeah, he's been raking right now, Mini Miggy. Baby Miggy. I touted him many moons ago. It seems like at this point.
Is he starting to win the nickname back? Because I was about to cut his ass hardcore.
I mean, yeah, Baby Miggy. He's still, you know what I mean. He's still there.
Well, you know what it is that the White Sox are playing him purely in the outfield and not utilize him as a DH. He said that really threw off his batting when you got a kid that I researched and I feel like more than their scouts on the White Sox, Matt Davidson, who's been tearing the cover off the ball and not striking out as much as I thought. I mean, we'll still have swings and misses, but having a much better contact rate than I thought he would. Absolutely lighten it up in that DH position. He should be starting every game in DH. I don't know what Renteria has. He has a love affair with Cody Ashley, former Philadelphia Philly, but he throws him in DH and he goes 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Start Matt Davidson.
Cody Ashley for you.
Yeah. So inversely, if Matt Davidson's out there, I'd say it's got to be a 16-team league plus, maybe dynasty or otherwise. Matt Davidson's a good guy along the same lines with Garcia, Mike.
Yeah, especially now with Todd Frazier being a little banged up, in and out of the lineup between minor injury and being ill. So, Davidson picking up some at-bats there as well.
He came back for a half a game, and he was like, nope, flu's not done yet. And, yeah, Matt Davidson does play third base, natural position, so he's getting starts there. I think you may even see when Frazier is fully healthy and in the lineup, you may even see him spell Jose Abreu at first, too. Jose Abreu is not off to a tremendous start.
No, he is not. He's been ice cold this season. I believe he's hitting like a $173 or something to start the year, like just putrid.
I'm a little concerned, not just because of, you're like I said, small sample size, not time to jump off the boat quite yet, but yeah, 170, 3 runs, only 5 RBIs on the season.
I was close. I blended the runs with the batting average.
That was pretty spot on.
But it's too early to count him out, but it's worth noting that the 30-year-old, and he is 30, a lot of people think he's younger, came to the leagues later from Cuba, has seen his home run total, slugging percentage, and OBA drop in consecutive years since his impressive rookie campaign in 2014. It's dropped every year. So,
I think that's more the league catching up to him more than it is him just regressing as a player. Because you forget, he did kind of just splash onto the scene as a 28-year-old Cuban rookie. So,
Truth.
You know what I mean? There is regression period. There is adjustment period that needs to be taken. I'm not sure yet if he's made the necessary adjustments yet. Clearly, he hasn't.
Right.
I mean, you could see the difference in Yasiel Puig. Puig has started to make the adjustments after splashing onto the scene and having 2 mediocre seasons after.
Right.
And you see the results now. Puig's killing the baseball. One of my ads, obviously, Yasiel Puig, huge ad.
Sticking with first baseman real quick, just while it's pertinent, Doug. A guy that I was going to advocate everyone to go out and grab, and it looks like Mr. South Jersey Destroyers beat me to the punch.
Oh, yeah, he's on my list, too.
Yeah. Mr. Mitch Moreland of the Boston Red Sox, first base eligible. All he's done is put up a 333 batting average, a homer, 5 RBIs, and a 429 sparkling on-base percentage. And in the last 7 games, 23 points. He's currently owned in 27% of leagues, but that's a plus 12.6 differential from last week, so you can expect many people like said Brian Daly to jump on the Mitch Moreland train.
And I literally just did that. He's 11 for 25 in his last 7 games, 4 singles, 6 doubles, 4 RBIs. His big thing, though, is he's got 5 strikeouts in the last 7 games, but he's even that out with 4 walks, so.
Yeah, that's always the thing with Mitch Moreland. You have to watch the walks to strikeouts because he does strike out a little bit too much.
Does he retain on the first base with Hanley and the DH?
Yeah, he's the
I think
primary
so.
first base.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
They
have another clear-cut option there with.
No, he's the everyday guy.
Yeah.
He does hit left-handed pitching, so he's not a guy you have to sit. He gets sat just because there's a lefty on the mound. He actually has a respectable 260-something career average against lefties.
So, in other words, this is a guy not just to grab for the short term, but the long term possibly as well.
Yeah, actually wound up dropping Eric Hosmer, who's having a very, very slow start to the season.
Yeah, but Eric Hosmer always has slow starts to his season. That's kind of like his career MO. April, May, he's not very good. June on, he destroys baseballs.
Yeah, I'm falling behind. I can't afford to wait.
Trust me, bro. I'm a testament to this. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. All you have to do is if you construct a well-oiled machine, once the machine gets started, it's over.
I got to get the machine started. That's my problem.
Yeah.
The machine!
Anyway, it's still clicking.
The machine!
It's
Feed
clicking,
the machine
but it's not
vodka.
turning over yet.
A guy you brought up earlier, Rob, when we were talking about the Orioles, Trey Mancini, if you have a DH spot for him, 7 for 14 in his last 7, 2 singles. He has a double. He's got 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. Walked twice, struck out 4 times, but he's been hitting the ball pretty well lately.
Preseason, I held him in the same veil as Matt Davidson as a guy that maybe could crack the lineup, get some DH starts in a league that starts at DH. Otherwise, still a good bat off the bench for your fantasy baseball leagues and for the Baltimore Orioles. But now, man, I think you can grab him in 12-team leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see the production says yes. I want to see the playing time say yes, though.
Sure.
That's my only drawback to that. I'm looking here at over the Orioles' last 5 games. He only played 3 of those 5. Granted, he has 4 home runs in those 5 games, but he only played in 3 of them. So that's my only little hiccup with that. I want to see him get in the lineup.
Good point. At second base, a guy that maybe I put down a little bit, but is still a good bat in this league. I'm going to eat a little crow when I suggest this, but Brandon Phillips, Atlanta Braves.
Oh yeah, you're eating big time crow. I remember you were killing Phillips.
Well, I was just saying that I mean the Reds dishing him off. You get like a bag of chips and a 30-pack or what have you. But I mean, all he's done
Pretty
in
sweet deal.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you nothing, and you give me a player that can still play. Okay.
In the last 7, he's gone 8 for 22, 2 doubles, a homer, 4 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, which that's a pertinent thing. Brandon Phillips. I want to say, I'm not even going to guess. I'm going to look it straight up. Brandon Phillips is 35 to have 3 stolen bases already on the season. Pretty phenomenal. and has had 30 points in our league in the past 7 days. He's up to 44% ownership, a plus 6.6 on the last week. So he's definitely a guy that you can grab in 12-team leagues, maybe even starting to creep into the 10-team league category.
Yeah, you almost have to with the way he's swinging. Another guy it was a must-own in all formats right now as he's killing it is Cesar Hernandez, Philly's second baseman. Got to. 346 batting average. I believe he is on a 10-game hitting streak.
Yeah, it is. It's a 10-game hitting streak. The thing I like about Cesar is
with 6 games, 2+ hit games in that 10-game hitting streak, crushing baseballs.
Yeah, and he's a very patient hitter, and that's what I like about him is he'll work the count and he'll walk. He'll walk. He does what a leadoff is supposed to be.
Yeah, only 4 walks this season so far to 12 strikeouts, so not the rates that he's shown earlier in his career as of yet. But, I mean, it's also early, and he was in a little bit of a funk to start the year. So.
Yeah. But what's nice about him is the 13 runs. For category leagues, that's huge.
Yeah, 13 runs scored. What was it? I believe he also has like 8 RBIs.
8 RBIs, 3 home runs, and 1 stolen base.
Yeah, so the guy is definitely giving you extra production. Yeah. No stolen bases though.
No, 1.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 1. And caught stealing once.
One of the guys that I'm advocating is Aaron Judge. I actually just found him in my other league. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go pick him up. Yeah. Right fielder, owning 56.5% of leagues, obviously with the New York Yankees. He's batting .275 this season, and 9 runs, 4 home runs, and 11 RBIs.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Mike Kleinkoff, the advocate of one Aaron Judge.
Now, does the 13 strikeouts not scare you though? And the 40 at bats, does that not bother you?
No, not for my category league.
Fair enough. Yeah, in category leagues, you probably don't have to worry about it. In point scoring leagues,
yes,
that is definitely
in a league like ours, it would definitely be a minus. But in my category league,
yes and no.
Yeah.
It's hard to dispute that. He's definitely better for categories. That's why you always got to check your league settings, people. But on top of the home runs, he's got a couple triples. He's there's
one
extra
triple, one double.
Oh, one. Yeah. Sorry, 2 extra base hits besides the home runs too, and I can see that continuing. So as long as he's hitting, a plethora of extra base hits in general, not just the homers.
Yeah, that's great because my league has the total bases category as well, so I get 4 for home runs, 3 for triples, and so on.
Right?
Yeah, he's an extra base hit monster.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep him off my lineup in our 16 team, Doug, but he forced me to put him in the lineup this week. I had no choice.
He's
been red hot.
He's hitting.
Definitely. Speaking of 14 to 16 team leagues, if you're hurting at third base, there's 2 guys I can advocate, David Freese and Joey Gallo. Yes. I know we kind of gave up on Joey Gallo on the show a little bit. But
I gave up on Joey Gallo a lot of it.
Yeah.
I'm still giving up on Joey Gallo. I mean, he's a good ad for now if you're really hurt and if you have a guy who's injured, like you're waiting on Adrian Beltre, what have you. But, I mean, long term, though, I'm not sold yet.
No, certainly. I mean, but I'm just saying for deep league, 16 and plus, he definitely is back on the radar, putting up 13 points over the last week and up to 14% ownership.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen.
The 8Ks over that 7 days still a factor there.
Yeah, it makes me want to vomit in my mouth.
That's why David Freese, I think, is a better option for as you start to creep towards the 14 and 12 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 7 for 21 over the last week, a homer, 4 RBIs, 6 walks to 2 Ks.
Yeah, those are ratios I love. Guys who give you a little bit of power, but more importantly, they can take the walk.
They're going to get the bases, yeah. That's what you want. I mean, David Freese has been playing great for us recently. Obviously, with Jung Ho Kang, not in America yet.
No, he's not coming to America. My friend.
He does have an appeal date set for May 25th. So
that don't mean jack.
No, it don't because his contract's going away.
No. Pittsburgh's still on the hook to pay the man. He just can't come to play.
Yeah, well, it's all in Korea, I think, not letting him leave.
Correct. Because he's a felon. He's a Korean felon.
Well,
you don't go home. You don't go.
He had a DUI, and they're a lot more strict than us Americans with DUIs.
So in his last 7 here, Minnesota Twins outfielder Robbie Grossman has been hitting pretty well. 7 for 17, 4 runs scored, 5 singles, a double. He's got 1 home run for 3 RBIs, but he has walked a lot in the last 7 games. He's walked 8 times. He has only struck out once, and he's only owned in 2.1% of leagues.
Another guy who's definitely should be on everyone's radar, should be already owned in all leagues, up to almost just under 70% owned. Mitch Haniger. I mean, this guy literally came out of nowhere. I had no idea who this guy even was. I didn't know he even played baseball. And, now he's, owned in 69.2% of leagues, hitting 291, which, I mean, is not the greatest of all, but 11 game. But he's on an 11-game hitting streak. During that hitting streak, he's hitting 359 with an on base of 457. Like, absolutely just getting on base, crushing baseballs when he gets a chance. 7 extra base hits among his 16 hits, 4 home runs, 3 doubles, 12 runs scored, 11 RBI. More importantly, though, 2 stolen bases, 9 walks. I mean, granted, 17 strikeouts, not the greatest, but still 9 walks to 17 strikeouts. Not that bad of a ratio if you're going to strike out that much.
If you're going to strike, exactly, man. You got to get that almost equivalent. I mean, obviously, it's still like roughly about a 2-to-1, but if you're not walking at all, that on base percentage is going to hurt you.
Yeah, big time. So yeah, he's definitely a guy. And for shallower leagues, if you're looking for a third baseman, Eugenio Suarez is still available in a lot of leagues.
That guy's a beast. He had another one last night.
Yeah, 68.3% ownership, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts. So he's definitely very patient at the plate. 11 runs scored on the season so far.
Sticking with the Cincinnati Reds, Zach Kozar, too. I mean, he's only owned in 35% of leagues, but that's gone up 24% in the last week because he's had a 22.5-point week in the last 7 days. He's got a double, a triple, a homer, and a partridge in a pear tree. 3 walks to 4 Ks. He's a great ad in 10 to 12 team leagues. If you're in a deeper league, 16 plus, another guy, the only more red hot guy on the waiver wire at shortstop, Taylor Motter from Seattle Mariners, 9 for 22 over the last week, 3 bombs, 6 RBIs.
Were you watching NFL Network on the break?
A little bit. 30.5 points. I mean, he's very well available, owned in 4% of leagues, but certainly a guy if you need some depth. Maybe you got an ailing shortstop in 16 plus, and the choices are limited. Taylor Motter's your guy.
Real quick, another guy who I didn't mention earlier when we were talking about catchers, Travis d'Arnaud. Only owned in 40.8% of leagues. Dude is crushing baseballs. 10 for 31 on this young season. 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, 4 walks to 5 strikeouts, showing that great plate discipline that he was known for in the minors. More importantly, 5 of his 10 hits are for extra bases, showing off that power that was in the minors as well. So I think this might be the year where he finally lives up to expectations.
Listen, a pitcher to add to is Kansas City Royals' Jason Vargas.
Yes,
I
have him on my list as well. You have him on your list as well.
He's not on my list. He's on my roster.
He's owned in 49% of leagues. He is 2-0 on the young season, 14 strikeouts, but better yet, a .66 ERA and a .88 WHIP.
I think he's a great streaming pitcher, especially against the Giants. I was about to say the 49ers. I did watch the NFL Network against the Giants on Wednesday, but don't expect to see those strikeouts continue. He's not been a predominant strikeout guy in his career. I mean, maybe he figured out a little something, little deception or what have you. Hitters will catch on. Those strikeouts will come back down, but I still think a solid streaming option.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is coming back from Tommy John surgery, missing all of last season. I mean, guys have been known to pick up a little bit in the velocity aspect of Tommy John. So you never know. This could actually be just a new Jason Vargas with a little bit more meat.
True. Hey, you guys ready for another one? The ageless wonder, Bartolo Colon.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
19.4% owned, 1-1 this season, 14 strikeouts, which was surprising to me. He had 6 in his last game, but I like the matchup against Philly.
On Friday,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good stream.
High ERA with a 4.24, but
he's the one streaming guy that I could hold on to my roster potentially. I mean, I still would stream him on that side. I mean, if I'm looking for anybody in terms of ageless wonders out there that I want to add and maybe keep on my roster, I got 2 words for you. Big Irv.
Yep.
He's fantasy relevant again and should be owned in all leagues. Just to give you a quick example of what the man's been doing stats-wise, a .41 ERA, 3-0 with 15 strikeouts and a .45 WHIP.
I wanted to draft him, but I was scared because of who he plays for. And they're the one winning right now.
Yeah,
right?
And just to translate this into more fantasy relevant numbers, He's actually the top point scorer in our fantasy baseball league. He's the top pitching.
It's got to be
point
simply
scorer.
because of the
It's
wins.
bigger.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, 55.4 just in the last 7 days. And that was a big complete game shutout. Let's see, he was only owned in roughly about 60% of leagues, but that has skyrocketed up to 86.8 in the last week.
You have to own him.
So if someone didn't grab him yet in your league, and it might be rare, swoop him up ASAP.
They're a big dummy, clearly.
Speaking
of big dummies, if you haven't picked this man up by now, because I've only been saying his name for I've only said his name 10 times today. Amir Garrett, the must-own across all formats. Cincinnati Reds young starter. 12 2/3. He's allowed 9 base runners, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, 2-0 over that stretch. Only owned in 50.5% of leagues, ESPN leagues. He's definitely out there. Go grab him up. More importantly, too, he's done it against 2 quality major league teams on the road at St. Louis and at Pittsburgh. When you only allow 9 base runners and 2 road starts, at making your major league debut, basically, that's impressive. .71 whip.
Nice. A guy you have talked about ad nauseum before, have him on your team, is a guy that if you don't own him yet, you better jump on this train as well because he's gone up 30% in the last week. Choo. Brandon McCarthy of the Los Angeles Dodgers in the last week. He's pitched 11 innings, 12 Ks. Love that ratio. Oh, yeah. Only 2 earned runs and 9 hits. 6 walks, a little elevated, and 1 victory. But, basically, he's a guy that I think can really stick in the Los Angeles Dodgers rotation and have a good lineup behind him.
Absolutely. He's going to be a quality source of wins. As long as he keeps up the quality starts, he's going to be a monster all year.
2.12 ERA and a 1.18 whip. I would advocate him for – do you think it has to be for 14 to 16, or could you start –
I own him right now.
Yeah, in a 10-team league with pitcher-heavy stats, but do you think that could translate for most 10 to 12s?
Oh, yeah. Especially categories leagues right now because, like you said, solid ERA, solid whip, and he's going to give you the wins.
Right.
Those are 3 key categories, especially the ERA and the whip. A lot of teams, they go south because they have those big flamethrowers that are going to win games and strike a ton of guys out, but they have really high whips or they have really high ERAs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely – he's a type of guy that can help balance that out if you have one of those guys.
Right. I forgot one outfielder that I really want to talk about real quick, Ender Encarte. He set all kinds of records in the opening game at SunTrust Field. First run, first base hit, first home run, and all he's done so far over the course of the season, 269 average, 4 homers, 7 RBIs, and a 309 on-base percentage. He's a guy that I think is a must-own in all leagues. If you don't have him now, he could really help solidify your outfield. Definitely go out and grab Encarte because Red Hot, I'm just looking up his last 7 games, 41 points, roughly owned in 59.5% of leagues. So he is available, people. Go out and grab him.
I got a couple more guys. Jimmy Nelson, Milwaukee Brewers starter, another guy I've been advocating off and on for a long time now. 13 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts. More importantly, through 2 starts, he's only allowed 11 base runners and 2 earned runs, only 2 walks, which has been a big part of his issue has been the walks and the control.
Right.
He's shown to have that and then some this season so far. More importantly, too, kept shut down the Cubs opening day.
Right.
That was a big time start for me at least.
2 dominating starts really to begin the season.
Absolutely.
That's why the Brewers are up in the standings. Both him and Chase Anderson have had great starts to their season. And if you're looking for pitchers to stream, both Nelson and Anderson are great streamers this weekend versus the Cardinals, who are just bottom of the barrel in all offensive categories. I believe Nelson pitches Saturday and Anderson pitches Sunday. So.
Right. Nelson also pitches today at Chicago, matter of fact, versus Brett Anderson.
Oh, he did get pushed to Tuesday.
He was a 2-star pitcher this week. He's one of my 2-star pitchers, actually, of this week recommendations. I'm big on him for the 2-star week. I was big on Amir Garrett for the 2-star week, who did end up getting pushed.
Right. Put in Mike Leake in that same spot.
Yeah.
First Pittsburgh at Milwaukee.
Yep. Another good start.
It's appealing option in all league formats as the Pirates rank last in the National League in runs scored and OPS, while the Brewers rank in the bottom half of the senior circuit in both of those categories. I picked on the Brewers too.
It's okay.
That's all right, Mike. We're just trying to rub it in.
I understand.
At least you know.
Yeah, we did put up 8 runs. I think that was our season high against the Cubs.
Yeah.
Nice little comeback that day.
Couple other streaming pitchers I'll throw out there for the rest of the week. Daniel Norris at Tampa Bay Rays on Thursday. You got Adam Conley at San Diego on Friday, a guy that, showing that he could pitch more than just against the Mets, although most of his innings this year have been against the Mets, including that 16-inning affair. But he's really impressed me. And he's the type of guy that is really stepping up in the absence of Jose Fernandez to keep the Marlins, currently in first place, I believe, as of, before last night. I didn't catch the end of the Seattle Marlins game, which was great. It was Ichiro's first game back at Seattle.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was a great, just a standing ovation. Really
As it
honored
should
him
be.
before the
Has
game.
it really been that long since he's been in Seattle?
Yeah.
As it should be. As it should be, though. I mean, he was an all-time. He is an all-time great player.
When he was a Yankee, how could he have not been in Seattle, though? Maybe I misheard it. Maybe it was his first time since the 3000 Club.
Probably.
That might be more so what it is. Don't hold me to that. But
I mean, he also might not have played in any of those Yankees games when they went back to Seattle either.
Right.
So that could have been it,
right.
too.
I talked about him earlier in the show, Antonio Senzatella versus
I love the name.
Senzatella is beautiful. Can he keep the joyride going? Well, he's going against San Francisco this Saturday, who are sort of a mediocre offense, not good, not bad. Certainly, I've streamed some guys against the Giants there and gotten some positive results, so you can definitely stream him as well. My top streaming pitcher this week, if he is available in your league, Ivan Nova at the New York Yankees on Sunday. They're going to welcome back Nova. He'll be fired up, and he's coming off a complete game loss to the Cardinals this week. He was a great 2-start pitcher for Monday, if you wound up grabbing him. And I just think, as good as the Yankees have been off the bat, I can just get a sense of Nova has had a lot of progression, and he's going to go in there with a chip on his shoulder and just try to dominate.
I really hope.
Me too.
There is one name I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't heard come out of anybody's mouth yet. Was for a stream starter was Alex Wood from the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
He has 1 win, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 5 walks, which is really high, but he had 7 strikeouts to counter, and he only gave up 1 earned run.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good streaming option as well. I've actually was going to go with one more, Hector Santiago this week. Another good streamer. I believe he pitches Friday at where are you? Here we go. Friday at Detroit. Granted, Detroit's not the greatest of starts, but Hector Santiago's looked really good this season. .83 whip, .87 whip, 1.47 ERA through 3 starts.
I know he's a guy that I was going to stream on Sunday and then realized I didn't need him, so I used that last transaction before the game started so I could pick up a pitcher for the following week. A little sneaky move. And then somehow you got him.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there at ESPN. He's supposed to be on waivers for a day or two, but the only thing I could think of is because I picked him up Saturday and then dropped him the right away. The system's like, oh, are you picking up guys just so they're not available? Screw you. He's available.
Right.
They might have did that. You never know. It's sneaky, but
this one might be a little bold, but for a stream starter, it's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Giants pitcher Matt Cain, coming off a win in his last start, 5 innings pitched. He gave up 5 hits, 1 run, struck out 6, and walked 3. So he's a name I haven't heard in a while. Might be a good spot start every here and now. So, I mean.
No, I love it, man. It's definitely a guy that I ignored. You know what I mean? That's why there's 4 of us here to help you dominate in all things fantasy sports.
Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee he's going to put out another decent start like he did the other night, but Matty Cain has been one of those guys that has been a proven MLB starter. Unfortunately, injuries have really plagued his career lately, and hopefully this could be a sign of him making some kind of a return. But
he's shown me this before. I don't know. I mean,
it's fool's gold, bro.
It is fool's gold. But, I mean, he can give you that solid start every once in a while. It's all about where's his walks at. Is he giving up 1 or none, or is he giving up 5 or 6? Because he doesn't strike out anybody anymore, so that's the difference.
Yeah, he's old, though. He's getting up there in age.
A place that you're guaranteed not to strike out if keeping your skin is important to you or keeping it healthy is important to you, and I think it should. And that's the people down at Soap Stash. the new soap standard. They have a great spring special going on, and if you haven't hit it up yet, what are you waiting for? This is the final week. It ends this Thursday, April 20th. You can get select soaps at only $2 a bar or 3 bars for $5. That's better than Irish Springs, any of those prices, and you're taking care of your skin. No phthalates, parabens, nothing that's bad for your skin. All natural products for men, women, children, the whole family. So go visit them on Facebook. You need to inbox them to take advantage of the spring super sale. They're on Facebook, Soap Stash LLC. You can look up their selection, soapstash.com. Or for ordering information, give them a call, 844-890-3197. On the other side, wrapping up this show, there's some playoffs going on, both in hockey and the NBA. We're going to cover a little bit of the NBA, leave the hockey for the Hockey Happy Hour. That's on at 3 p.m. later on today on these same airwaves, a2dradio.com. Keep it there. We'll be back, people.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, a2dradio.com.
Fellas, you ever come in from that baseball or football game and your woman won't come near you because you stink beyond belief? Then you need Soap Stash. You should never settle for a generic hygiene product that only covers up the stench. Treat your skin with the best nutrients. Feel clean with the only soap you'll need. The highest grade carrier oils are ingrained in all of their products, which are 100% natural and terrific for your skin. No sulfates, parabens, or phthalates, and synthetic fragrance free. Contact Soap Stash for your sample package and give your woman what she deserves. You can contact Soap Stash at 844-890-3197 or visit them on the web at soapstash.com or Facebook at Soapstash LLC. Once again, their number is 844-890-3197. Soap Stash, the new soap standard.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to Fantasy Dominance Now, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome back to Pure Domination. This is Fantasy Dominance Now here on A2DRadio.com. Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Doug Pitchford, and yours truly, Rob Povia. Matt Sensuti is bringing you all the domination from the production chair. So we completed our Major League Baseball talk, but we do have a question coming in that does need answering, and it's a great question. You know, with the whole theme of 2 weeks in, reassessing where Major League Baseball is. That's how we began the show, moving into fantasy baseball. And Andrew Bracero, I hope I'm getting that name right, asks, who's off to the worst start on your fantasy team? Mine is Devin Travis. So who's yours, guys?
Mine position player is Brad Miller from the Rays in our league, only scoring 18 points right now. Slowly behind that is Nelson Cruz, actually, with 25.
Wow.
For pitching-wise, my worst player right now is Hisashi Iwakuma.
I don't know how to say his first name. It's Iwakuma.
Minus 0.7 on the season so far.
Ouch. Yeah, that's painful. Mine's definitely I believe we mentioned him earlier in the show, is Sam Dyson. By the way, if you are a Sam Dyson owner who did just hit the disabled list this morning, go out, pick up Matt Bush immediately. He's the new closer. He will remain the new closer the rest of the season. Matt Bush is a hot ad.
His health checks out? Because I know he had some health concerns as well.
Oh yeah, he pitched in yesterday's ball game, the ball game in which Sam Dyson blew yet another save, allowing 3 runs or 2 earned runs on like 4 base runners. He pitched the 8th inning of that game, scoreless 8th inning, no base runners, 3 strikeouts. So that arm is fine.
I mean, these are both guys that you pointed out preseason that you had concerns about, especially when I had Brad Miller up on my shortstop list because he's still eligible at shortstop despite playing first base this year. He's off to a slow start. And then, certainly Sam Dyson, he was a guy that really helped me win a championship last year because he had a phenomenal, second half of the season when he was named the Rangers closer, pitched well for Team USA. Maybe you're getting a little example of how the WBC can be bad for baseball. As much as I love it, you're seeing guys having issues. Yadier Molina, I watched him catch a game. And it was, of course, it was a day game after a night game, and maybe Matheny needs to learn that you can't do that with Yadi anymore. He's not 28 anymore. But I think from all the competitive baseball that Puerto Rico played, it's catching up to him. He had several pass balls that were hitting his glove. I've never seen him that lethargic. So a guy that didn't participate in the WBC, but has been my worst fantasy baseball player, has been Jose Abreu.
Oh, he's been putrid this season, man. Absolutely putrid.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you a quick sample size really quickly, because I don't want to infringe on NBA talk, but I just want to pull up exactly where he's been sitting at so far on this season.
You're doing that real quick, Trey Turner, too, has been really bad for me so far. 3 for 19 to open up his young season, obviously now on the disabled list.
But he's been banged up, though. I mean, you can kind of give him a pass there.
Kind of, but 7 strikeouts, no walks. I'm not giving that a pass.
Yeah, true.
Your bat's not hurt.
Truth. Abreu's batting 170 on the young season, 3 runs, 5 RBIs. Certainly has been a disappointment for me. A guy on the pitching side that was a disappointment for me, and I actually dropped, was the aforementioned sleeper Tyler Anderson for the Rockies. He's been getting rocked, and he's off my lineup as of the moment. And Foltynewicz. Folty. I'm just going to start calling him Folty. I'm not starting him against Washington tonight, but he's got a better matchup later on this week. He is facing Phillies. If he doesn't have a good start there, he'll be the next one on the scrap heap for me.
Foltynewicz?
Yes.
My
Fulton
worst. My worst so far has been Javier Baez. 7 hits on the season, 10 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's only knocked in 3 batters. I can make an argument for Steven Piscotty, Matt Carpenter, even Yadier Molina, who is batting way under average from what we're used to seeing from Yadi, and it could be because of the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see when baseball is put back in the Olympics. Do they continue with the WBC? I mean, I hope so, because it is a special tournament unto itself. And, I mean, you're talking every 4 years. I think you could deal with it because you're not going to have very many repeat, performers as you've seen so far.
And obviously it'll be offset to the Olympics and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it shouldn't be a huge issue. I hope they do continue it, though, but I could see that. I could see it going the way of the dodo.
No doubt about it. All right, so let's move on to our NBA playoffs talk, which is being brought to you by Liberty Event Rentals. For all your party needs, give them a call, 267-314-7368. Look them up, libertyeventrentals.com. So mostly just one game played in each series. The NBA playoffs is in its fledgling state. You did see the Cleveland Cavaliers go up to a 2-0 lead on the Indiana Pacers. Do you see the winning ways of the Cavs continuing, or can Indiana get back into the series?
Well, I mean, both games have been close. This one, they lost by 6. The first game, they lost by 1. So, I mean, it's definitely possible, and the biggest reason's Lance Stevenson. I mean, I don't think Indiana.
Mean the LeBron stopper?
Yeah, I don't think the Pacers are clearly they will not come back and take over the series, but I do think that they could possibly win one game back in Indiana and make it at least a 5-game series, because I mean they've been surely pretty damn close these past couple of games.
I do see this series going 6 just because of the factors you were just mentioning. That this has been a lot of close games. I think Indiana goes back to Indiana. I think they'll tie the series up at 2. Before ultimately allowing Cleveland to kind of just insert its dominance.
Yeah.
My surprise, not a surprise to me, but it's a surprise to a lot. Milwaukee's up 1-0
Yes.
in Toronto.
I agree.
Obviously I made a big talk about Milwaukee potentially being the team to come out of the East this year. I'm firmly behind that. I mean, and you just saw why in Game 1. I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo is at a complete another level right now. This man is legitimately he's where LeBron James was probably about 8 years ago. 10 years ago, where LeBron James is just physically better than everyone else, and he could just do things and was unstoppable. That's what Giannis
He's a freak.
is.
The Greek freak.
Exactly. That's what I'm
But
saying.
yeah, I mean,
Good guy to build your team around.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, but the thing is, they held the Raptors to I think 29 points in the second half of that game.
Smothering defense. I mean, that's what happens when you got a whole bunch of guys that are between 6'6" and 6'11".
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what happens. You can't get shots off.
No.
Thon Maker is a beast in the middle. Coming off the weak side, blocking shots. Obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo blocking shots off the weak side too, as well as on the perimeter.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you cannot do anything about this defense. Matthew Dellavedova, one of the stars of that Cleveland championship run. On that Milwaukee team now, causing havoc to opposing point guards like Kyrie,
like always.
Kyle Lowry. Exactly.
Yeah.
Michael Brogdon, this team's just loaded, man. Chris
They're
Middleton too,
young,
really
solid
good
team, man.
They're deep.
Yeah,
They seem to be built to win in the second half as they outscored the Raptors by 19.
yeah, definitely. I mean, they blew them out of the water in that second half of the game. They didn't come alive, But the person that we brought up that was going to make a difference for Toronto was Serge Ibaka. He had coming off of a great game. In fantasy wise, he put up almost 41 points on Fanduel. 19 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, there's just but I just don't think they have enough. I don't think Kyle Lowry, because of his diminutive size, I don't think with the length Milwaukee has, I just don't think that he can put up enough points.
Yeah.
For them to really have a chance to actually advance.
Yeah, he's still coming back from that injury as well too. So that might be still staggering with him, but I think eventually he will find a groove. As of right now, it's hard to say that the Raptors. I mean, it's only one game, but it's hard to say that the Raptors are going to come back from this.
Well,
because,
Game 2's tonight at 7.
Yeah.
So we will get a lot of questions answered. It's actually a 4-game slate, or 3-game slate tonight.
Yes, 3 games.
Yeah, 3 games. I'm sitting here looking at the full schedule. It's got me messed up.
Yeah, you got the Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, no. Finish your point.
No, I was just going to say we got the Bucks Raptors tonight, Bulls Celtics, and then the Jazz and Clippers.
Great night for FanDuel, by the way, like with some of these lineups that you could potentially put together. I'm personally definitely rocking Giannis Antetokounmpo again tonight. I think he's going to have a huge game. I mean, the Raptors have something to prove tonight. A guy I would look at to be an X factor would be Josh Norman. Norman Powell, excuse me. I don't know why I said Josh Norman. Yeah, see, now you got me on the NFL
now
train, bro.
We just miss it so much.
I really do a little bit. But no, Norman Powell, definitely a guy that I'm looking at playing tonight, especially the super cheap small forward play. Obviously, Isaiah Thomas is a must-play tonight. I think Boston has to have a huge game tonight.
Yeah.
They need that win. I could see him having a huge game. If you can't fit him in your lineup due to value, a good alternative at the point guard spot obviously is Chris Paul, who should be a little bit less expensive at this point than Isaiah Thomas. Another great value play, Michael Brogdon.
Even I was gonna say, even Rajon Rondo tonight, 6,600. You know, the last game he played 27 minutes and put up 35 fantasy points. So
yeah, well, they're letting him be Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
You know, just get in the paint. You know, drop dimes and grab boards.
Was that one of the biggest shockers in Game 1's, Chicago winning on the road?
yeah, it had to have been. It had to have been.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago is not a good rebounding team. We knew that all season long, and they absolutely destroyed Boston on the glass. Boston also not a great rebounding team, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Breaking the
usually
100-point
just
barrier, too.
not
Wow.
that bad.
Yeah.
They're also a good defensive team.
They're
They
good.
kinda
Yeah, they're
just-
good defensively, but rebounding's questionable.
Yeah, they let up 106 points to a Chicago team that, let's face it, they're good. They should be a playoff team.
They're not an 8th seed team.
No, they're not an 8 seed.
They're not.
It
So
was just impressive how they took control with that late 8-0 run to get that 106-102 victory.
Yeah, I mean, even Isaiah Thomas, he put up 33 in that game, but then again, you also have Jimmy Butler putting up 30. So
Right.
Well, they had no answer for Jimmy Butler in that game. More importantly, they had no secondary scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, you had 33 from Isaiah Thomas, but I believe the next leading scorer on the team had like 12.
Right. A series in the West that's been causing a lot of debate on social media is the Jazz Clippers series, as we saw the Jazz squeak out a 97-95 Game 1 victory.
19, excuse me, Al Horford.
Johnson beats the buzzer with a floater to take that victory.
yeah, JJ.
A lot of people already down 0-1 in the Clipperland is saying if the Clippers don't win this series, Doc Rivers needs to get fired.
Well,
and they need to move on and reconstruct that team.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it too. I think, honestly, if they lose this series in the first round, I think the Clippers team next season is going to be a whole new team.
Well, it's going to be a whole new team anyway, impending free agency.
But I think Chris Paul will leave.
Right. Oh, yeah, free agency,
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree with you guys halfway. Like, I do think you need to reconstruct this team because, albeit you have talent on this team, but no playoff successful talent on this team. None of them has done anything in the playoffs. So that's why I say you keep Doc Rivers and you reconstruct the team because you've seen what he's done with other rosters before. You could put Pop in there, and I don't think the Clippers do well in the playoffs.
You have all this all-star power, and for you not to keep winning playoff games, it's a problem.
Right.
Yeah, at that point is coaching.
That's
I would think.
That's what you brought Doc Rivers in there for. You had all this talent with a different coach, and it didn't win. That's why you brought in Doc Rivers, because of his work with the Big Three, really the Big Four, and you're not seeing that translate. I mean, yes, they're getting into the playoffs, but they're not winning.
Yeah.
Like, they're not getting over the hump. I think, personally, it has more to do with the fact that Blake Griffin doesn't play defense more than it does anything else.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin's marshmallow in the post.
Yeah. Speaking of the Clippers, though, tonight with Rudy Gobert being out, I think DeAndre Jordan should be a nice play.
Oh, he'd be a phenomenal play tonight.
Yeah, he's 7,700 for tonight. Last game he put up 34 in the 37 minutes that he played. So
yeah, I mean, I still believe that the Jazz will win this series, even with Gobert potentially missing the rest of this series. I still see them as the better team. Because, like I said, I see this LA team really blowing it up. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a trade in the offseason, sending Carmelo Anthony to LA for Blake Griffin in some type of move.
they're only going to get worse, probably.
What, the Knicks?
No.
Oh, the Clippers.
Clippers.
No, I think
Sending Carmelo over there.
I think that's a better move for them because you know what? You can play Carmelo at the 3. You can actually get a 4-man in there that's a banger who can actually play defense and who can shoot a little bit.
Yeah, I like Blake better. Strictly because of age.
I like Blake because of age, but Blake doesn't play defense, and I'm sorry. At this point in the league,
He's still gonna put up like 25.
Yeah, but when you're allowing 25, what's the that's a push, my friend.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem with Blake Griffin. Like that's why the Utah was in firm control of that game throughout for the most part. Like even when LA had a lead in game 1, it just felt like Utah was really in control of that game, and this was just a Utah-paced game. They have to change that for game 2. I'm sure they will because I believe they will get the win tonight. But if you're a betting man, I'm putting my money on LA tonight. But ultimately throughout the series, I still feel that Utah is gained control, and they just have a confidence and a swagger about them right now.
The other series that's played too is the Spurs-Grizzlies series, and so far it's been 2 dominating performances from the San Antonio Spurs, winning 111-82 and 96-82, keeping consistent with that 82 allowed.
Yeah.
Is this a sweep we're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Memphis is going to go home, but it's popping the Spurs.
Right.
You're not,
No, I think Memphis will snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in game 3. It'll be a very close game, but they'll still end up losing because, just San Antonio's just
Yeah,
I
think they did beat them once in the season, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know, man. It's popping the playoffs, so it's, first round, it's hard.
No, you don't beat Pop in the first round.
No.
It just doesn't happen. So San Antonio, this should be an easy sweep for them.
One of the guys we included on last week's poll, Kawhi Leonard, who people are like, why are you including him in the MVP conversation? Well, he ties a postseason high with 32 points in Game 1, and not to be outdone in Game 2, puts up 37 points, including 19 for 19 from the field and 11 rebounds.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's just so good. He's just so
He
good.
is. He really is.
And that's why he's an MVP candidate.
And,
he's
and that's why during these playoffs, the MVP candidate race is going to be altered. Because if we saw just through the season, the MVP would, Kawhi Leonard, he's a great player, but he wouldn't be the MVP of the season during the regular season, with the awards doing it that way. But now with this new, after the playoffs and the championship, it's definitely going to alter things.
I could see Giannis Antetokounmpo stealing a lot of votes too.
Yeah.
With the way he's playing, especially in Milwaukee. Like I said, in our preview show last week, with him coming into his own, and he's already shown it in Game 1. He's starting to thrive. I just see this continuing, and he could end up at least coming as like a runner-up to the co-MVPs.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be actually closer than people think, and now I'm seeing it more with how the playoffs are shaping out.
Yeah, I mean, Houston winning by 31 in Game 1.
We all saw that. I told you that Oklahoma City is going to be lucky to win a game here, and they're just defensively they're horrible. It's just it's a shame to have a guy having the best season that anybody has ever had to be on a team that's not going to win a playoff game.
Well, that's why he had the season that he had.
Yeah.
That's how they even got him in the first place. But
Very true.
I mean, it's not sad to me at all. It's just kind of like a culmination of just what's the difference between great individual success and great team success.
You couldn't see the Thunder maybe sneaking out one game back at home?
Maybe.
They'd be lucky to, honestly.
They were just that dominated in the 118-87 Game 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at what they did to Westbrook in that game. Only scoring 22 points on a putrid shooting night. I think he was like 5 of something or other. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I think it was like 5 of 17 or 5 of 19, something like that in Game 1. It was just terrible.
So, I'm sure Westbrook costs a pretty penny in Fanduel and DraftKings.
He's like 13,000 or something like that.
So stay away from Westbrook.
Yeah, because
really.
You're not hitting value.
Yeah,
you need to hit at least 65 to hit value with him. So
right.
It's just not. Yeah, for that, it's not worth it.
Nope.
Nope.
Not at all. Yeah, just so everybody knows, especially with basketball, you want to hit at least half. You want their points to be half of what their value is to be considered hitting value plus. In case nobody knew that, but
if you don't know, now you know.
I do know now. I didn't know that.
Yes. Well, I don't know how it works for baseball and stuff like that, but I do know with basketball, you want at least 50% of their value to be considered hitting value.
Well, you just got learned.
Yep.
I just got learned.
And the fact that you just said learnt is awesome.
That's it. We're very educational here on Fantasy Dominance.
That's what we're here for.
A2dradio.com, which is
what we
being
do.
brought to you by the BMW of Atlantic City dealership. They challenge its sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, Lisa is certified pre-owned elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is much closer than you think. BMW of Atlantic City, easy to get to. Minutes off exit 37 on the Garden State Parkway. Check them out online. BMWAtlanticCity.com. Just covering the poll question real quick. Maddie, we're gonna ride it out. I just wanted to cover the poll question and the sponsor before we ran out of time. 75% of the vote going to the Houston Astros.
Wow.
So they're right in line with us. Still 22 hours left to vote. Get on Twitter, get on Facebook, chime in, be heard. Before we wrap up the party, guys, what's been your biggest surprise of the NBA playoffs so far?
NBA, wow. It's pretty tough.
Really? That's not at all for me.
What, Milwaukee?
Biggest surprise? No, that wasn't a surprise to me. Biggest surprise was definitely Chicago winning Game 1.
Yeah, okay, yes, definitely. Definitely have to agree with that. Yeah, behind that, to me, is Milwaukee, because I thought maybe Toronto would put in a better push than that.
Right. I'd say between Chicago and the Grizzlies not putting up any fight. I mean, I'm very high on the Spurs, but you thought they would have put up a little bit of a fight so far.
I mean, averaging 82 was horrible.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's wrap up this party. For Brian Daly, Mike Kleinkoff, Doug Pitchford, I'm Rob Povia. Join us next week where 3 of the 4 of us will be back here. I know Mr. Fresh is going to be at the Borgata playing in a poker tournament, winning some monies.
Hopefully.
Best of luck to you, brother.
Thank you. Much
Definitely.
appreciated.
Definitely.
Maybe I'll call in, say hi.
Please do. Catch us 12 p.m. Tuesdays, always on a2dradio.com. Special shout out Matt Sudi producing today's show. Good luck in your fantasy leagues, people. Hit us up. #AskFDN.
Deuces.